as seekers, that's not where we need to be. So vairagya connected to our dharma, bhakti, love, devotion to the Lord, and jnana. This knowledge should always shine. And you know, how does the mind get power? How does it get power? It gets power through repetition. See, when I think a casual thought just like this, okay, you know, it's okay, yeah, today is a great day, that's okay, you know. But when I keep thinking something over and over and over again, it becomes an action. It becomes that. If I'm sitting down thinking, I want a piece of chocolate cake, and then you're like, no, you shouldn't have. No, I want a piece of chocolate cake, and I think this should be it, and I have so many thoughts of it. Chances are, we're going to walk to the fridge and eat that chocolate cake. It's going to happen. If I had 8 or 9 of the same thing, same thought, I'm going to do it. Most likely, I'm going to do it because it's repeated. So if something is ashiva or shava, don't let it repeat. Very hard to say, let my mind always think auspicious thoughts. Very difficult. But if it's inauspicious, at least let me not repeat it. Huh? At least let me not, because if it repeats, it gains power. It gains power, it's an action. It's an action, it's too late. Right? So, tanme mana SivaSankalpaSuktam. Now we look at the second mantra. Yena karmanya paso manishinaha. Yena karmanya paso manishinaha. Yajne kranvanti vidadheshu dhiraha. Yajne kranvanti vidadheshu dhiraha. Yadapurvam yakshamantah prajanam. Yadapurvam yakshamantah prajanam. Tanme mana SivaSankalpaSuktam. Tanme mana SivaSankalpaSuktam. Together. Yena karmanya paso manishinaha. Yajne kranvanti vidadheshu dhiraha. Yadapurvam yakshamantah prajanam. Tanme mana SivaSankalpaSuktam. Here, now in this mantra, there are 3 qualifications of a seeker. First is apasaha. Apasaha means, it says in the book, those who are enraged. But it really means those who are engaged. There's a typographical error there. Those who are engaged. So those who are engaged in action. That's the first thing. Manishinaha means those who are in control, or those who know how to manage their minds. Then dhiraha. Dhiraha, those who know how to turn inward. So 3 qualifications. So yena karmani, that by which actions are performed. Vidadheshu. Vidadheshu here means that yajna samagri. That mind by which actions are performed by who? Those who are apasaha, those who are engaged in action, those who are manishi, those who are very controlled, those who are dhiraha, those who are introverted. That mind, and that mind that is apurvam, unique, yaksham, worshipful, antah prajanam, that mind which is in all beings, may that mind be auspicious. Tanme mana SivaSankalpaSuktam. So first, what is action? What is action? You know, we act every single day. But what is action? So action is nothing but a conversion of our thoughts, as I said. our repeated thoughts make our actions. This is how our action happens. It doesn't happen just like that. We don't act just like that. Huh? It's either that our action is either in automatic mode because of our vasana, or that we think and then we act. You know, some people say that, didn't you think before you did that? Actually, it's impossible to do it without thinking, but the question should be, did you think correctly before you did that? Right?
Yeah.
So, having that said, action is nothing but the thoughts converted. See, I told you, here it's subtle, outside it's gross. That's all. It's just a conversion process that's happening. So, that is what action is. Now, there's so many different kinds of action, isn't it? Because we perform action every day. So, what determines what is a right action or what is not right? Because what is dharmic, what is adharma? So many conflicts are there, so many books are there, so many research papers are there. What is adharma, what is dharma, what is dharmic action? Whenever we act, we have to see action in 3 stages. Before the action, during the action, and after the action. So before the action, what should I be thinking? What is the intention of this action? If the intention of this action is noble, what makes something noble? It's selfless. Very simple. Intention of the action should be selfless. Means it is all-inclusive. Now don't think that selfless means I'll think about everybody but I won't think about myself. It's all-inclusive. So, it should be pure, noble, selfless. There is a good thought behind that. There is a good thing behind it. It's not to harm somebody. It's not to put somebody down. It's not to, shun someone. The minute that I feel like that action is going towards a wrong intention, then stop it. Because we're still in the pre-stage, right? Already in the pre-stage, make this distinction. What is the right action? What is the wrong action? Then what happens is, during the action, what should I be thinking is how I implement it. So if before stages I'm thinking intention, during stages I'm thinking implementation. You see, because I might have a very good idea. I might know what's the right thing to do. But sometimes I don't implement the right way. I cut corners, or if you're in charge of something, I'll call somebody else. Means if you're in charge and I need something done, I should call somebody, tell them to go to you and you should get it done. We should go to the proper channels. Because many of us have so many great intentions. We do. But the execution is where we fail. And we tend to make people feel then that they don't matter. And that's not okay because everything is in Yajna spirit. So maybe my implementation is not good. Or maybe I'm trying to cut corners and I'm in a hurry just to get done, so I just do it. But that brings a lot of, out of confusion in an organization. Then we get confused. Who is supposed to do this? Are you supposed to do this or are they supposed to do it? And it brings a lot of ill feelings because they feel like, okay, why didn't you consult me? Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you do this? So as many great intentions we have, if we don't implement properly, that's not a right action. You can't call it right. So, implementation. Then, after the action, what should my feeling be? Integration. It should be that everyone is integrated in that action. If not everyone, at least most people. Most people are benefited by that action. And I'm very well integrated. I feel a sense of peace. I feel a sense of ease. Otherwise, if I'm not integrated after that action, if I have some guilty feeling or angry feeling or, regret feeling, that means that that's not the right action probably. because I wouldn't have felt that way. So after the action also, it's not that the action's done and I don't need to think about it anymore. Action is, I completed it, but how do I feel? Some assessment should be there. So when we talk about apasaha, the one who engages in action, means the ones who engage in right action. The ones who think about the intention, then they think about the implementation, and they think about integration. This makes a complete right action. This is correct. You see, very difficult to be apasaha. Isn't it? Huh? Apasaha. Then we have what is called manishi or manishi. Manisha means conviction. Huh? Manisha Panchakam is there, right? I don't know if some of you have studied the very nice text by Adi Shankaracharya ji, Manisha Panchakam. Right? Me Manisha. My conviction. So Manishi means the one who is firm and steady in their conviction and they are able to manage that mind. Now one might think, Arjuna asks Lord Krishna, how is it that you manage this mind? It is like the wind. It is just so difficult. How do you tame it, right? So the Manishis, how they're able to do it is they have an ideal. They have a very high ideal. You see, the issue is in life, it's not that we aim very high, but we aim too low and we make it. If we aim too high and we miss it, that's okay. That's okay. Aim very high. If I miss it, it's okay. At least I'm aiming high. But sometimes we aim so low and we make it. And then we become complacent. This is good enough for me. This life is okay enough for me. If you have that feeling, please call me. Right? Because it's never good enough. There's always something that we can all improve upon. There is. Right? So what Manishi means that they have high ideals. And when we say high ideals, it means that the thoughts have to be high because actions will never be bigger than thoughts. You'll never have, actions come from thoughts. So actions can never be bigger than thoughts. So if I'm thinking small, I'm only going to act small. There's no that I'm thinking small and I'm going to act big. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't work like that. So Manishi means I'm thinking huge. And because I have such a huge ideal, my mind is able to come under control. In Vedanta, we don't believe so much in like a forcing kind of control. Control your mind. It's not like that. The mind immerses itself in an ideal and the mind gets controlled. It gets divinized and thereby controlling happens. It happens. It's not that we're putting effort in controlling. We're putting effort in divinizing. And when we studied self-unfoldment, I gave you these examples also. For example, our freedom fighters. Now, especially we need to remember them, knew what happened. But, their ideal is so high that they can control their appetite. They can control their sleep. They can control the weather. If it's too cold, too hot, they can control because their ideal is so high. I'm defending my motherland. So they don't even feel like they're controlling. We feel like we have to regulate food, only eat this much. We feel like we have to sleep at this time. For them, they probably don't feel like it's a thing they have to do because it's just happening. Like with Puja Gurudev, it's just happening. It's automatic, it's happening because his ideal was maximum happiness, the maximum number of people, maximum number of people. Now if you have an ideal like that, can you tell me, does anybody need to give you an alarm clock? No. Does anybody need to tell you, hey, watch your diet or don't eat too much? Nobody needs to tell you anything because your ideal is so high. So Manishi means it's happening to them. It's not a very hard, sad kind of thing I have to control. Very beautiful, Chandrasekhar Azad. He was one of our great freedom fighters. They asked him, "What's your name?" He said, "Azad." "What's your father's name?" "Tera baap kya naam?" The last name. He says, "Swatantra." And he says, "Where do you live?" "I live in jail." Wow. So see, with this kind of person, you don't have to tell him anything. Right? Manishi. Right? So if our mind is not coming under our control, it is only because of this. The ideal is not high. It's just not. Then the next one is the Dhira. Dhira. What is Dhira? The one who's able to turn inward. See, Dhira is this. Whenever there are disturbing circumstances outside, Dhira is one who doesn't get disturbed. Because they are turning inward. They're turning towards the self. I had given you also this example before that, when we are in an apartment or a hotel, the best floor is the top floor, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Dhira is this. Their mind is always leveling inward. Inward, it is always focused within. Focused within. It's within what they can do. It's not about what other people can do. Because at the end of the day, the adjustments I have to make are where? Here. Outside, how much can I fix outside? In our houses, we move a table there, then somebody will come, "Hey, the table doesn't look nice there, you move it here." Anytime you want to fix something, somebody else fixes it. And somebody else fixes it, somebody else fixes it. And life goes on and on and on with these fixes. But Dhira is one who says, "I'm not going to put so much effort in fixing outside, just fix inside. Just turn inward, what can I fix?" And when I do that, that kind of mind is Shiva. So that kind of mind which Apasaha they have, Manishi have, Dhira have, this kind of mind is Shiva. We will stop here and then I will take up more of mantra 2 tomorrow and complete it. For now, I think in the schedule we have some discussion, correct? So,